Hello, everybody. This is Ed from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast here with another Whiskey Short. And joining me, as always, is Scott.
Hey, everybody.
And we have a real fun, interesting spirit to taste tonight. And joining us for this extra fun quick taste is our old, tremendous Scotch buddy of the podcast, Joe.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, Joe's just back from an exciting trip to
Scotland.
Not Scotland, which you would have heard about if you paid attention to the podcast like we tell you to. So, Scott, tell me and Joe and the listeners, what are we going to be tasting tonight?
All right. So in July's news episode, I mentioned that I was going to get one of the whiskeys that we featured because it just sounded so intriguing. And I did the next day order it, and it came.
Yeah,
and,
I thought he was talking complete shit, everybody. I cannot believe. And he's like a week later, like, look what I got. I'm like, I love it.
I know, and because it has some peated malt whiskey in it, and we have a Scotch lover on the panel today, I figured that we'd do the quick taste with him. So, without further ado, this is the QuintEssential special release, the Untitled Cigar Malt Project Quick Taste.
Whiskey Short.
Well, not a quick statement, though.
No, the name isn't quick.
And by the way, QuintEssential is part of the name. Scott's not adding fluffery to it.
That's right. That's the real name.
That's the name.
I didn't say it was QuintEssential. They did. So this is from Cedar Ridge.
Yes.
We featured Cedar Ridge on the podcast before. The Iowa number 9 whiskey, created in partnership with the band Slipknot.
Yes.
On the Metal Whiskey episode number 48. And also their Iowa Straight Wheat single cask on the Lost Lanyard episode 72.
Which Ed ordered.
And I ordered one of those as well.
Right.
We both love Cedar Ridge whiskey.
So Cedar Ridge has really come through for us because, I mean, it's a lot for me to go get a $100 bottle online and order it with all the whiskey we buy and all. But I was like, oh,
yeah,
because it's so limited. I'm like, well, that's not going to be around. Let me get one.
Yeah, and we loved it.
And Marty got one too.
And Marty did too.
Friend of the podcast.
That's right. So when we did the single cask, you, Ed, read a short history of the Cedar Ridge distillery.
I did.
Which I will just drop in.
The Quint family has farmed and distilled spirits for generations in the town of Swisher, Iowa. But it wasn't until 2005 that Jeff Quint founded a commercial distillery. That means they were just making it and drinking it themselves, I guess. That he called Cedar Ridge because he believed it was long past time for Iowa, the #1 corn-producing state in the U.S., to share its homegrown bourbon with the world, thus becoming the first licensed distillery in Iowa since Prohibition.
Again.
2005. My God.
Get over it, people.
Prohibition just destroyed so much.
It really did.
From the American Single Malt to their multiple award-winning Iowa bourbon, each bottle of Cedar Ridge whiskey offers the best of authentic Iowa craftsmanship. They store and mill their own farmed corn on site, ferment and twice distill it to a higher proof, and store the barrels of distillate in a non-temperature controlled rickhouse. Because of Iowa's consistently inconsistent weather, is that actually, can you say that?
Yeah.
You can be consistently inconsistent? Well,
sure.
I guess that sounds like my workout regime, so yeah. Which aids in the expansion and contraction of the barrels. Their spirits take on their rich aromas and flavors more quickly than other regions, with an angel share of 18%, well above the industry standard of 12%, yielding intensely flavored yet cleaner and more approachable sipping whiskeys. Wow, that was very succinct of me.
Yeah. Thank you, slightly younger Ed. And now I have a short description of this particular whiskey from Craft Spirits Magazine, and then we will get to taste it.
And Joe gets to talk too.
And then Joe will get to talk too.
Eventually, I'll get to add some comments here.
That's right. Swisher, Iowa-based Cedar Ridge Distillery, under the direction of master blender Murphy Quint, has released a third expression in their QuintEssential limited series of award-winning American single malts, the Untitled Cigar Malt Project. It's a blend of their regular American single malt whiskey that's first aged in Cedar Ridge's own ex-bourbon barrels, then finished separately in their own Madeira-like dessert wine barrels, first filled Amontillado sherry casks, new No. 3 char French oak barrels, and new No. 3 char American oak barrels, all of which are then blended with a peated single malt that had been finished in ruby port casks. Says Quint, while each cask plays an important role in the blend, the peated malt delivers an important feature. Its smoky influence, though subtle, lingers long on the finish, a transition that emerges after the initial notes of sherry and Madeira have faded. This was a key element to the project, achieving a finish that lingers pleasantly, much like the subtle hint of smoke you might experience long after savoring a cigar.
All right, we have it in the neat glass, and we're nosing it. I got right away like a raspberry tart.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like right away, like the way you smell like a breakfast Danish as you bring it up into your mouth. Mm-hmm. And that was the initial thing.
Get that.
Right, it has a baked good kind of quality to it.
A fruity sweetness.
What I'm not getting is peat.
Right.
No,
I
not
am
on the nose.
I'm not getting that on the nose.
No.
I got graham crackers right away.
Okay.
But I definitely smell what you guys are smelling as well.
Yeah, like picture the old Entenmann's that my mom used to have. You cut a wedge off and that raspberry, that very breakfast cake.
It's so sweet and earthy, and it smells amazing. Do you guys taste it?
I just did.
I just tasted it.
That was so surprisingly complex. All in the front. The palate was really complex. The finish is interesting. It kind of punches you in the mouth.
Off the nose, you're not expecting that kick
No.
that you get when you taste it.
Oh, all right. I haven't tasted it yet. It's 114.9 proof, by the way, and 100% malted barley.
Very smooth. Much more earthy and herbaceous on the tongue than on the nose.
Oh, my God. Wow, that is so much flavor.
Wow.
It's like sweet cloves, cinnamon.
Yeah, a lot more herbaceousness and a lot of earthy tones that you didn't get on the nose, which I got mostly just sweet and
I
fruits.
was not expecting that at all. Delicious.
This is a very well-crafted product. They continue to impress me over there at Cedar Ridge.
Yeah, this is incredible.
You're saying you should taste the notes of sherry. I definitely get that.
Yeah, because sherry cask is in it. I absolutely get that. It is desserty,
Oh, yeah.
but at the same time, earthy. And it kind of sizzles on your tongue a bit because it's so flavorful.
This would be so good after a meal, like a
Yeah.
steak potato, like something. Just push the chair back and have a dram of this would be so uplifting.
Is it meant to be drank with a cigar?
I'm sure.
Cigar malt project.
Yeah, I mean, it's meant to sort of taste like you've had a cigar, but with all that sweetness in it, it's definitely desserty. I got some water.
Yeah, I want to add a little water to mine, just a drop or two.
Yeah.
See if it opens anything right now. Wow.
But I don't taste much smoke. Are you guys tasting that?
No, I mean, maybe a kiss of it. Like,
Yeah.
It is very subtle.
Very subtle.
Like you said, just like you just smoked the cigar, but not with that strong taste in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, as I add a little water and I bring it to my nose, I get a little bit of the smoke. Now, that could have been you putting it there.
Right, because we started talking about it. Now we can kind of detect it. It's so malty now with a little bit of water into it. You get that really rich malt sweetness, like a malt syrup.
Yeah. I feel like this could hit different. The longer the bottle's open, the more that it breathes in your glass, the more water you add. If you add a globe, because it is hot enough to ride a globe a bit at 115.
Yeah.
I don't think this would be good much below 9. I feel like the proof is where it needs to be. The color of it is phenomenal. Like almost like a cherry syrup.
Definitely has red in there for sure.
Oh my God. What an amazing combination of flavors that they put together. And what did this cost? Like about $100?
$100, yeah.
I bought two today that were, one was 100 and one was 85, and I guaranteed neither one's as good as this.
This bottle is definitely worth $100.
Yeah, and I was so intrigued by it, and Ed knows that I don't normally
Yeah,
do that.
no.
I don't just order things because I
Right.
think they might be good. I knew this was going to be good
Right.
because our past experience.
Well, I'm taking a picture of it now, so I can, when I get home, I can order it.
Oh, absolutely. I think you definitely should. It's worth it. Can I have the bottom again? I need to see if the top comes off. There it is. There we go. And that's what I'm talking about.
It also pours.
Oh my God! Look,
Look at that.
the bottle functions like all other bottles. It's amazing. When people ask, "Look, what's a $100 bottle worth?" Like for example, Joe told me on the elevator ride up here today that he saw Buffalo Trace today for $70.
Oh my
Well,
God.
guess what's not worth $70? Buffalo Trace. So for $30 more, you can have this. I mean, oh my God, people, please pay attention when you're out in the stores. It's like walking with manhole covers open. You know what I mean? If you don't look around, you're going to fall in.
It's true.
Why is it worth $100? First of all, it's 114, almost 115 proof. Second, you have multiple finishes, right? They're taking the time to juggle this from barrel to freaking barrel. You know what I mean? To me, it could be a little underpriced.
It could be.
Compared to stuff we've seen. This is coming in as a $150 bottle. And I think Scott has that antenna, which is why he went out and got it, because he knows that it won't stay at this price for long. The next release will be $125. The next release will be $170. That's what happens as they test the market with new whiskeys.
And I knew it wasn't going to last long either because this is a limited edition, and I wanted to get it before I couldn't. I had to pull the trigger on it.
It's good out of the bottle. I only think it enhances it with water. But yet, I think some days I would drink it without water because I'd want that. And some days I'd want it on a globe.
My tongue is tingling.
Joe's like, it was worth it coming here just for this sip
Yeah.
right here. Like,
I
everything's
found
gravy
this
now.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Wow, this is so friggin' good. Whew.
And we weren't sure I would like it because I don't really like peaty stuff, but
Just a kiss of it.
It's a butterfly kiss.
it actually needs it. It actually helps it.
It does.
Yeah.
Because I think it might be a little bit too sweet.
But it's
without
almost
it.
more like a little campfire than the traditional Scotch peat you see with Ardbeg and some of the ones, the real smoky stuff. And I think the water opens the smoke up a little bit more.
Absolutely does.
Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting better. I'm taking some of this home. I'm just going to put it in like a washcloth and put it in the baggie and then wring it out when I get home. Or put it in a bottle. You can do that.
Right, I can give you a little splash.
Yeah, that's fine too. That's fine. But anyway, this has been
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
We're going to do tasting notes.
Yeah. Okay. We're all excited. We're all excited here. We're all
No,
over the
yeah,
place.
yeah. This is amongstthewhiskey.com.
Okay.
Because this just came out, so there weren't like many professional tasting notes when I wrote up this thing.
Right.
All right, so on the nose, figs, red grapes, sea salt, hint of smoke with creamy and bready notes, fruit pie,
Yeah.
and cooling barbecue coals.
All right.
Wow.
Fruit pie. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I feel vindicated on that one.
Yeah,
Good.
the bready, absolutely.
right.
And the sweetness that we smelled, the red grapes. On the palate, pure velvety cream, more fig, mellow pepper, sherry, peat, and subtle smoke like toasted bread with grape jam and the perfect amount of melted butter.
All right. Yeah.
This is an amazing tasting note.
Yeah, I love that.
On the finish, rich, sweet, and spicy with plums and blackberry tart. Mm-hmm. And a final wisp of lingering smoke.
See, now that's the tasting note that we can all get behind.
Yeah. It's not crazy out there or anything.
Right. And I think that you don't have to, name every possible thing. Yeah, do it. See, the bottle works. The lid comes off. Yeah.
The lid does come off.
Yeah, have another splash.
Wow. And look, it pours again. Amazing.
That's right.
Pours.
Right.
Here, dump a little bit
Yeah,
more.
we're all taking. Listen, it's a good quick taste when we're all going back for seconds.
Yeah.
Or thirds. And so I think we nailed the tasting notes because I have to tell you, the tasting notes are obvious on this to me. Like, man, I taste everything, but you're tasting something on this. You're not going to be like, oh, it's just vanilla and burn. No, it's no.
It's so flavorful.
Yeah.
It's like a punch in the tongue.
But a good punch.
A good punch in the tongue.
Every sip has just gotten better. I just took my last sip of my second to last sip because I've already had 2
I
glasses.
was not expecting much off the nose.
Yeah. It's such a complex whiskey. My hat's off to Cedar Ridge. It's a shame that this isn't like 10,000 bottles every
I know.
You know?
I bet it's sold out by now. I bet it is.
Don't upset Joe. He hasn't tried yet. Maybe there's one out there.
All right, gentlemen, thank you.
Right. We'll all tie ourselves together by the wrist with one knife.
Beat it. Michael Jackson plays in the background. Eddie Van Halen.
That's right.
He did the guitar for that.
Yes. Didn't get paid. All right. So
He didn't get paid.
I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
There's no mechanism in place for that to happen.
Oh, wow. He just came to the studio, played
Yeah.
his thing, and left, and they didn't pay him.
That's a rumor. I'll go with that.
They're both dead. It doesn't matter.
That's right. That's right.
So on that sad note,
I think we'll cut that because it has zero relevancy. Well, except for the beat part. But
it's called a tangent. It's
us tied together seems like a weird way to end it.
Oh, well, yeah, that is kind of a weird.
Well, our tongues are all tied up in deliciousness. So if you can get anything from Cedar Ridge, go get it. We've tasted 3 things from them now and have not been disappointed yet.
Man.
They're not fucking around out there. You know what I mean? They're really going for it. So,
No.
Joe, last thoughts?
I think this is absolutely wonderful. Can't wait to get my hands on one.
All right. We'll do our best. We'll get online as soon as we get off the air. Scott, last thoughts?
No, spectacular whiskey. I am so glad that I spent the money on it.
Yeah.
$100. Honestly, it's a bargain.
And you can write it down how many times you've heard us say that.
Yep.
So for the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
I'm Joe.
Cheers, everybody.
Later.